Yeah, so I have everything that I need here. I don't have to worry about anything while everybody else is out there freaking out in the grip of chaos. I'll be right here. Okay, so take a look at this, how this is. See that? It's a perfect sheen. Any place where there's a little bit of a bevel or uneven ground, you have to watch it just perfectly. You can almost, it's polished. You can't hardly stand on it. I'm lucky about a little bit gritty here. You got to be able to feel your way around. There we go. Chip it. Might be a little bit of a hollow space underneath of it. There we go. Welcome to Mystery Trail, everybody. I just found out that my brother-in-law, he and my sister, they live in another county. He fell, he slipped on the ice, cut himself all up, beat himself up, and they couldn't even get out of the house in case if there was an emergency and an ambulance couldn't get to him. But he's going to try to tough it out from what I heard. And my sister, she can't even get out of the house, but they say that she has to actually slide along the ground on her butt when she can't even get outside the door in order to feed the animals that they have. They had a dog that they tried to corral up, and that's how he fell. There was a dog that was outside. He was wanting to get it inside, and he fell. The other dog they have is like a Great Pyrenees, and so they love being in the snow and the ice. So that one they didn't worry about. But the other one, they were trying to get it inside for the night because it's absolutely bitter out. I hear that it's even going to be cold down in Florida. Even down in Miami, the temperatures are going to drop considerably. So this is just a big freeze going on all over the United States, mostly in the South. I've got 3 hats on. There's a couple of, I'm actually pretty warm in here now though, but I went outside for a minute there. But I've got my house pretty hot here with all the wood stove I have, which I'll show you here in a minute. But there's been at least 5 deaths in the area. People mostly slipping and sliding on the ice. They're trying to walk on the ice or trying to get into their car or something like that, and they go poof, and kills them somehow. My neighbor did something dumb. She went out. I just found out she went out today. She, for some reason, wanted to go out to Costco, which is like 40 miles away from here. She drove to Costco to, I guess, get some resupply or do something. I don't know. But she has a brand new car, but she cut a tire on the ice, and they were broke down out there, and they had one of their people come and had to change a tire, put a donut on, and they called me and asked me if I had a torque wrench. Well, for one thing, I've got these big sheepskin mittens. These are actually Soviet Army, probably, God knows how old these are. Could be 80s, maybe go back to the 60s even, you don't know. But I got these a couple of years ago, and they're extremely rugged and warm as hell. Like your hands can be cold, and you put them in there, and they won't be cold anymore. I've got that as well as a sheepskin hat. So okay, actually I do, for the sheds and things out back, I've got actual field phones for communication, and these are the old. I got these strung up just in case if communications break down, cell phone towers go down, that kind of thing. All closed circuit. Right here, this is my stove. I have a cabin-like kind of atmosphere, and here is the flame. Burning away. I got it going pretty decent here. You have to have a really good wood though, because it can be a pain in the ass to keep this going. To be efficient, you have to have really good wood. You can bank it up overnight and keep a good bed of coals going for several days. If you have to leave the place, you know, you have to either let it go down or try to bank it up. But the best thing about this is that I'm single, but if you are, you know, if you've got a wife or a girlfriend or something, you're not going to have any trouble getting laid ever, because there's nothing more romantic than a wood stove like this, or any kind of fireplace. And just put the couch up next to it, like mine, and little television, a couple of good movies, and your woman's gonna want to get all snuggly with you, and before you know it, there you go. Yeah, they'll wanna snuggle up. So might want to think about that. All right, making a little oatmeal here. Let's kind of whip it up a little bit. Now that's the secret of off-grid living is you pretty much have to have wood heat, because wood heat is the only truly off the grid sustainable heat source, and as you can see, cooking source also. Because I can remember a couple of winters back, maybe it's been 5 years, there was a big run on propane, and I live not too far from an outlet, a Southern States store where they, you know, selling big things of propane, and the trucks were just lined up all the way around, way down the road, way down the line. I mean, I literally lined up, and I'm just kind of sitting there, you know. I don't mean to be laughing at people, but I was like going, you know, these people were caught off guard, and here I was, you know, kind of bunkered down, and I could see on Facebook people were complaining about how they lost heat and everything, and like, you know, women that you know, they had their kids and everything. They're like, you know, single women, like, oh, I'm gonna freeze to death, my babies, you know. And you know, they had to vacate their place, and because they lost electricity and everything. So anyway, but I don't think that happened in this area that this time, because people are more prepared now a little bit. At least people have an idea about what they have to do to get ready in case something does happen. We didn't lose any power in this area, I don't think. There were not a lot of downed power lines. What there is now is something I've never seen in my whole lifetime, is just like 12 inches of ice and snow packed together like a freezer. It's like a glacier. I need crampons almost to get around. It gets worse when it gets sunny out. It melts during the daytime. The frozen part on top turns into a shiny sheen as it melts, and then it freezes at night and becomes slicker than glass. And it's really dangerous. And I need crampons, really. That's one thing I don't have. I thought about getting them in the past, but I just so rarely need them. But it's like, you know, you really need them to get around. My parents are elderly, and I pretty much forbade them to go out, so they've been stuck inside. If they go out, so they can't walk on uneven ground. Anyway, and you know, they'll break a hip or something like that. They can't even negotiate it. They can't actually leave the house no matter what. We can't clear it. So I've been having to go out and get groceries for them and everything like that, or, you know, get their mail and all that stuff. So yeah, but the roads are clear now. And that reminds me, this is really interesting. Years ago, I worked with this woman who, very briefly, because she was let go for some some strange reason where I work, but she was an Alaskan, and she told me that in the wintertime they don't use, like here we use salt a lot of times, or scrape, that they didn't even bother with that in Alaska. That they just, I think they took gravel, big truckloads of gravel, and just threw the gravel on top of the ice and drove over that, because she was like from upper Alaska, like where it's, for months it's like daylight. And she said that she used to put like Mylar or some kind of reflective, like tinfoil or something, over her windows to reflect the constant sunlight. All kinds of weird stuff. She was wild. She was one of the most charismatic people I've ever met. I can't even remember what her name was because she was only there a couple of weeks. She moved down here. She met a man online and moved down here, but she didn't have a car. And so the boss of the place was giving her a ride every day from another town, bringing her in. He was so desperate for workers. It was social work. And he finally just got tired of giving her rides and all that. He just let her go. So I didn't really get to find out any more from her, but she said she'd been a prison guard, and she was in a movie of some sort, an extra in a movie, some kind of low budget film, and all kinds of stuff. I don't know why it is, but I've met several people from Alaska, and they're some of the most intriguing, charismatic people you'll ever come across. Nobody else ever is that I run into. I've met people from Australia and Russia, all over North America, and nobody, Mexico, nobody's ever interesting, really. They're not. And people from around here, none of them are really that, nobody has any charisma, I would call. I'm talking about like magnetic charisma, without trying, without putting effort into it. That's how Alaskans are. It's like they just have it, I don't know what it is about that. Like people from this area, and they're just mostly just blunt, just blunt. They've gotten that way over time, or just, there's a lot of fakeness that you see, you know what I'm talking about, from people, and I never got that from Alaskans. It's just like they have this effortless magnetism about them that I cannot, I can't place it really. I can't really put my finger on it. One of these days I'll figure it out. I mean, I guess you have to have grown up there and be that to have that. You can't, it's not something that you can fake. But, and pretty much anybody from the West Coast has that quality to a certain amount. I don't know why that is, but nobody on the East Coast ever has that. I mean, so there you go. Oatmeal. So there you go. Good old oatmeal. This is maple syrup oatmeal. Great. When you lead a primitive existence, all you need is just a block of wood to eat on. I don't need a table. It's great. There's something about something that's cooked on open flame always tastes better. This tastes so much better than something if it was made in a microwave. I'm serious. I'm not joking around about that. Anything. You can make a cheeseburger or anything like that, and it always tastes better. Any kind of meat, any kind of soup. Yeah. This oatmeal, this is plain oatmeal too. Man. Can't beat it. It's all survival.